We are live. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're coming from. Today, we're going to talk about online shopping and how to do it safe. We have Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and I wanted to give you a few tips on how to stay safe. So, before we do that, I want to share with you just a few slides around the statistics of how big of a problem this is. And then we're going to do some hands-on. We're going to like investigate a few websites, and I'll show you basically what I do when I want to buy online. What are the things that I look at to make sure this is not a scam, or hopefully it's not a scam. So, first thing, the statistics show that what really makes you avoid a scam is awareness, and this is sort of why we're doing this here today. It's basically means that as long as you were even a little bit aware, you're probably going to look at additional signs and you're going to avoid it. So you have to come into this experience of shopping. I know that it's fun and all of that, but with one eye looking around and making sure that you're dealing with a legit vendor. And this is something that we have to sort of do, unfortunately, all the time, because the people that were not aware, basically they lost their money. People that were aware, and you can look here, I felt something was wrong, I knew about this type of scams, I did some research, anything that has to do with you being even a little bit skeptical is something that basically helps you avoid these scams. Just a second here. Okay, let's go back. There's my mouse. This is a game I like to play. I don't know how many people are online right now, but this is from the COVID time. I'll let you try to guess this. What are the top 3 products that basically most people are scammed because they're buying these products? I'll give you a few minutes if you want to comment. Let's see. How do I move here? Anybody has a guess? Okay. So I'll run this in slideshow because that's how I can. Oh, there. That's actually better. Okay. So number 3, cars. And that's actually was surprising to me, but yeah, people buy cars online and there are a lot of scams around that. So this is a big item, and that's something that you need to be also aware of when you're buying a car. Digital devices, phones. Yep, that's electronics. That's number 2. And number 1, that actually surprised me, but it actually makes sense. Again, this was more during the COVID, but I'm pretty sure the statistics are, if it's not number 1, it's probably number 2. Anyone else wants to give it another go? What's the number 1? Okay, I'll show this. Pets. Isn't that crazy? And the really bad thing about this is that not only you were, scammed while you were buying your dog or cat or whatever, um, you never got it. So for families, this is really a big deal. And so much money is spent today on pets in general. So this is sort of the first category. So let's move on. Um, where do we usually get scammed? Where does that start? And not surprisingly, it's social media. To be honest, I am very, very skeptical when I see an ad on social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's any of those ads that pop up. So what happens, scammers also target companies that have ad accounts. So they either use those ad accounts with paid money from the company they hacked, and they're running ads, or sometimes they're paying for ads, which usually is not the case. But there are tons of ads that are running around, and most people feel that social media will protect them in some way or another because they were vetted out. Those ads, they are paid ads. Like, why would a scammer do that? Well, they have a better offer than anyone else, and it's easier to scam. So this is sort of the things that I try to avoid. I look for the product, but I'll show you soon, like what are the other things that I do. But I rarely just click on buy now from the social media app and add my credit card information. And also remember, when you're entering your login information, for example, and you're on a social media browser, you're basically potentially giving your social media app your password. It can be for your Google or something else because it's their browser. So I don't like doing anything on the social media browsers in general. So just something to think about. Um, yeah, we can skip this. This is just shows that social media is a gold mine for scammers. It's just like, and that includes not just ads. That includes influencers, and sometimes the influencers themselves are being scammed. So they're getting sort of like a partnership deal with some vendor or some kind of work, and they talk about a product because they think they're going to get paid for that, and that was a scam. So they were scammed and their audience were scammed. So I don't just trust automatically a social media influencer just because they promoted a product. Many times they get scams, and sometimes the influencers scammers. So I would do my due diligence. And here is another thing that I hear so often, but if I'm using my credit card, then it's not a big deal. I'll just get reimbursed. So first of all, not all the time, but let's put that aside for a second. What can happen is that many times they can reuse your card for small transactions. Like, it can look, when you look at your credit card statement, it may look like Netflix payment, like something like this, NTFLX charge, and you think it's Netflix, but it's not, or a parking fee. And those are recurring payments that are just keep on going. And this can go for over a year and even more, and you won't even notice it, that you're basically getting scammed. So that's just another thing to look out for. Very often you receive a different product than you originally thought. So they take a picture from a vendor, and they just take that picture and they ship you something, not even the same product. They just want to prove that the product was shipped. So once the product was shipped, even though it's like nothing to do with the actual product you bought, now you have to dispute it because you actually got something, and it's becoming harder to dispute. Second, your identity can be stolen, because many times you're giving more information than just your credit card. You're giving maybe your address, and for the product to arrive, and many other information that you really don't want people to have. And if you're using their in many cases, you need to create an account on those social media apps or on those fake shops. And first of all, if you reuse your passwords, then guess what? They're going to use that password to try to log into your other apps. If you're using social login, you can get phished. There's a lot of things that can happen, even if the bank reimburses you. So I would just, first of all, try not to be in that mindset of like, I'm protected by my credit card company, because it's the things you don't know that really will get you eventually. So just don't play around with that. Like, it's better not to be scammed in general. Okay, while shopping, let's do some, I'll show you what I do basically. So again, and what I'm going to show you right now, this is not like, I'm not telling you 100% for sure this site is a scam. Okay, I'm just telling you what I'm doing when I shop online on a website that I don't know. So the way a lot of those scammers work is that they spin up fake websites, right? They want to work as little as possible. So they're using templates. Many of them are using templates. They're just changing the logo, they're changing the domain and the products inside. But basically they're lazy, and they tend to like stick, they tend to not change things like about us and stuff like that. So what I usually do, I just took a couple of about us here. So I copy this. Let's take another. I go to the about us page. And again, this can be also a legit, this can be legit sites. But in my opinion, so this one, for example, has 321 results, all with the same about us. So for me, this is a red flag. Like if I'm shopping on a site that couldn't even update about themselves, I don't trust this website. So again, that's me. Um, and that's one sort of like sign for me that this is a copy paste website, and they don't really care so much, and they assume that people don't do what I do. So like, what does it matter if we change the about us or not? So this is the first thing that I do. The second thing, I do something very similar for the email, phone numbers, and physical addresses. So I took here, I just before we started this, I took an address. I think it's of this one. I took the address of this website and I went to Google Maps, and it's basically a house. Now, again, this could be a drop shipping, it could be all of those things. But again, if too many signs, add up, too many red flags add up, I start to think, wait, well, maybe maybe it's not a good idea to buy from here. So I tend to look at the email, I look at the phone number, I copy paste it, I see if there's other shops with the same phone number, if there are other shops with the same address exactly. And again, those are some of the things that I tend to look at when I don't know this shop. Another thing that I look for, and this is actually very helpful, I go and basically put scam or fraud next to the shop name. So let's take, for example, this one. Again, this is just an example that I found like a minute ago. So I'm going to go here. Here. I'm going to put this and scam. And I don't know if it's a scam, but I'm going to look. This is sort of one of the things that I do. And then I see people here are asking on Reddit, is this online story? So you can see like the crowd, actually, a lot of people do ask these questions, especially on Reddit and other places. Remember, people that got scammed are really upset, and they do write about it. So the things that I tend to do is put fraud, scam next to the domain, stuff like that. And you can read what people had to say. Certain looks like that. Again, all of those things add up and make me suspicious about this one. So that's another thing that I like to do. I either put it in Google or in Reddit or in other type of forums, and I look for that. Another big one, let's keep on going with this one. So let's take this website and let's go. Actually, I did it just now. So I look at something called, you can see when the domain was registered, when this website was registered, basically. So there are many websites that can do that. This one is just an example. You can look for Whois, just Google, and you'll see a lot of sites that can give you this type of tool. And then you put the name of the domain, look up. And then I see, okay, this was just created September. So, and it was updated a few days ago. So it's really, really new. I got some people complaining about it, that it's potentially a scam. Same about us, same phone number, all of those things. When they start to happen, they add up. Again, I don't know if this shop is fake or not, but I'm just giving you examples of the things that I do to sort of investigate the site to get that comfort level for buying there. Let's go over a few things that can help you also avoid. So, first of all, don't blindly trust any video. Like copy pasting a video of an actual vendor, let's say Nike, like their new video, and like it's so easy, right? It's so easy to copy paste a video and use it in your ads. So the fact that it looks legit the ad looks professional, the video looks professional, it doesn't mean that it's original. So don't get confused by, the production level of the video because they just copy paste it. Um, if a price obviously looks too good, if you get those Nike shoes for 80% less, yeah, I would probably think twice. And if you refresh the page and you can see that this price goes down, and every time you come back, you see the same ad, but now it's just with a better price. That's another thing that I would probably that's another red flag if the price keeps going down. This is sort of the things that scammers want to do. Like, another thing is, again, like I said at the beginning, I don't buy directly from Facebook pages and not from their marketplace. Tons of scammers, in general, scammers love a place where you get to meet strangers, right? And you interact with strangers, especially if you can transact with strangers. Like, where else would a scammer look for if it's not a marketplace? So Facebook pages, websites that I haven't heard of, for me, it's like buying from a random person on the street. It's just the same concept. Something that I would avoid. um Again, don't trust an ad. So if an ad is on a legit website, it doesn't mean anything, right? Because a lot of websites are using Google ads and stuff like that. So don't think the website that is showing you this ad has vetted it. It They may definitely have not vetted it at all. Yeah, this one we talked about. If you see the same ad and the price is dropping, if a lot of the reviews, hold on, if many of the reviews are from several days, so I do look at the reviews, and if they're all like, you can see that they all happen in a short amount of days, and they're too good or basically mostly too good. Those are things that I like to look at, because what's the chances that all of these reviews happen in like one day? Like, what's going on? And there is a lot of products that you've seen on TV, for example, on Shark Tank and others, tons of scams that are basically saying as seen on Shark Tank and stuff like that. So be aware of that as well. After you purchase, if you talk about your product, if you like take us, like, hey, I bought this on social media, or you rant about something, be sure scammers look at that and they will target you potentially. So you may get a text message that you have a UPS package that cannot be delivered. You may get a call even from Amazon telling you there was a problem, sorry for, because you ranted. Let's say you ranted about a product. So now you get a call from Amazon. They're saying, oh, sorry for for what happened, and they want to make it up to you. All of those, not all of them, but many of those calls are fake. Scammers look at people that rant on social media and they try to sort of help you, and by helping you they scam you again. So be careful. If you want to talk to Amazon, either call them or through the official channels, like through their messaging in the Amazon app. If it's FedEx, through the FedEx website. Just don't like believe that somebody's out there just calling you, trying to help you out of the blue, because you rented on social media, or you showed what you bought and now you got I don't know, you were selected, or you were they want to give you another prize or another gift as a follow-up for being this amazing customer. So be careful of that as well. When you buy offline, this is a big one. Look how simple it is to just put a sticker over a sticker. So if you buy gift cards for your family, friends, and you just go to the cash register and they scan it, and you pay cash, right? And so you gave the shop cash, they scanned this and they put your money into this fake barcode. So basically what you just did, you added money to someone else's account. So what I suggest is, when you buy a gift card, just rub your finger over the barcode and to feel if this is a sticker or not. This is something that I do all the time. Like you just rub your finger and you can sort of feel if this is a sticker or not. With that said, also there's a lot of scams going on right now with QR codes, where you scan the QR code, even in like parking meters. You go to a parking meter, you park your car, you see a barcode. Again, it was a sticker that they put on the original QR code. So now you're taking your phone, you're scanning the meter, the parking meter. You're scanning the QR code. You're going to a website. You're paying, and they just stole your information, maybe your license plate. They stole a lot of information just because you scanned the QR code. So always make sure that I try to avoid QR codes in general, but if you are scanning QR codes, rub your finger over them. Make sure it's not a sticker or not a fake one. But in general, because I don't know where they're going, I try to avoid QR codes altogether. And things that you should probably do regardless to shopping. So many shops get hacked. Like you can't even imagine how many shops, legit shops, right? They get hacked. So if you're creating an account, create a unique password. Don't reuse any of your passwords in general, and especially on a random website where you're buying something, if you need to create an account. So don't do that. You can use a password manager here and use a strong password, which basically can be like the longer it is, the better. Basically, that's the rule. You can use a phrase like 3 words, phone, TV, and I love this picture, something like that. It can be just a long phrase. Enable multi-factor authentication on any app you can imagine. So even if they do steal your password from that website and they try to log in, they can't, because you have multi-factor authentication turned on. The app is a better option than text messages, but that's a whole new conversation. So there are a lot of multi-factor authentication apps like Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. Great tools to use. Update your devices and browsers, and also be aware. So there's so many extensions for shopping where they show you, for example, a lower price if this product has a lower price somewhere else, right? So you have tons of like extensions like that, and people love installing them because it gives them sort of like an understanding if the price they're willing to pay is the best price, because maybe there's something better. The problem with extensions and browser extensions and plugins in general, that they're sitting on your browser and they can see everything you do. Like, how do they know what price, if the price you're willing to pay is better somewhere else? Because they're looking at what you're doing. So some of those extensions are basically sort of like malware, like the keyloggers. They keep on tracking everything you do. So it's sort of like a camera on your browser. And every time you do something that is also totally unrelated to shopping, they keep on tracking where you go, your password, your credit cards, all of that information. So again, I try to limit all the browser extensions that I'm using. I hardly have any. I would say even 0. But if you are adding, just keep in mind, you're giving someone access to your browser, and that means every website you go to, they can sort of like see what you're doing. So keep in mind that. Have a backup, obviously. Learn about common scams. There are tons of scams around shopping, unfortunately. We touched a few. And I think it's a great idea, regardless, to freeze your credit card. It's so simple, really. There's one button. So you have to go to the 3 bureaus. Once you go in, you just click freeze, and you can unfreeze it at any time you want. It's like it's a toggle. So it's not a hassle to unfreeze it when the time comes. So I think it's better to freeze it, because it will really help if somebody is trying to open an account, a bank account, or anything under your name, because they stole your private information from something that you did online. Yeah, that's it, guys. I didn't want to take too much time today. You have the holidays coming, so have happy Thanksgiving. And if you want more information, you can DM me. You can comment here. I will respond. I will reply. And yeah, have great holidays and safe shopping. Bye bye.